My lovely students, welcome to Mathological. In this session, we'll be discussing all the decision making sets from XAT 2021. स्टार्ट करते हैं सेशन को 2021 के सारे डिसीजन मेकिंग सेट्स को हम डिस्कस करेंगे, डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे, सारे नुआंसेस को समझेंगे. स्टार्ट करते हैं सेशन को. एंड इफ यू नॉट ऑलरेडी सब्सक्राइब टू चैनल एंड यू लाइक द कंटेंट, देन मेक श्योर टू सब्सक्राइब चैनल और साथ में लाइक बटन को भी प्रेस कर देना इफ यू आर लाइकिंग द कंटेंट. एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो ज्वाइन टेलीग्राम चैनल मैथोलॉजिकल और कैन मैसेज मी ऑन टेलीग्राम एट ADITYAKT. साथ में व्हाट्सएप चैनल भी ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. तो पहला सेट लेते हैं, फर्स्ट सेट ऑफ दिस सेशन, and that set is on e-commerce firm FillInCart, FICT. So these are the three questions. So पहले अगर अटेम्प्ट नहीं किया है तो पॉज करके अटेम्प्ट करो, फिर सॉल्यूशन देखो. So let us read the questions first. Read the premise. Amish is the marketing head of an e-commerce firm named FillInCart. So Amish is the marketing head of the firm FillInCart, FICT. Recently, FICT signed a contract with a top celebrity to endorse their firm. A few months later, the celebrity was signed as the ambassador to promote tourism in a small country, Wadiya. ये हसी वादिया, ये खुला आसमां. तो he was signed as the ambassador to promote tourism in Wadiya. And Wadiya is ruled by a dictator. The dictator, in his zeal to bring peace to the region, brutally suppressed an armed uprising in Wadiya. He is currently facing sanctions imposed by a few countries. When the news of the celebrity's association with Wadiya becomes public, calls for boycott of FICT start trending on social media. So you must have heard about these things in the recent years. So calls of boycott are trending in social media for FICT because of association with that particular celebrity. So Amish is concerned with the trending boycott calls and its probable impact on FICT's brand image. So that is the major concern. Given the social media backlash, which of the following courses of action will help Amish best defend FICT's continued association with the celebrity? हमें क्या करना है? इंपॉर्टेंटली रीड द क्वेश्चन स्टेम, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंटली उसके बाद में ही अपना आंसर सेलेक्ट कर रहे हैं. तो क्वेश्चन स्टेम कह रहा है, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन विल बेस्ट हेल्प अमिश डिफेंड FICT's continued association with the celebrity. यानी कि FICT will be continuing their association with the celebrity. So that will be continued. Okay, that will be continued. And we need the best reason in defense. Option A, ignore social media backlash, assuming that in a few days a new issue will start trending. तो फिलहाल के लिए इग्नोर कर दो. Option B, publicize on social media that FICT has nothing to do with the celebrities association with the other brands. Option C, declare on social media that FICT chose the celebrity for his philanthropic works. Option D, withdraw all advertisements involving the celebrity from all the media platforms till the social media moves to another issue. And last option, option E, publicize on social media their celebrity's endorsement to Wadiya tourism will help improve the livelihood of Wadiya's poor. तो कहाँ पे हम डिफेंस कर रहे हैं, कहाँ पे डिफेंस नहीं कर रहे हैं? ऑप्शन डी, विदड्रॉ ऑल एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स इन्वॉल्विंग द सेलिब्रिटी फ्रॉम ऑल द मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स टिल द सोशल मीडिया मूव्स टू अनदर इशू. सो आर वी रियली डिफेंडिंग, is FICT really defending their stance, really defending their association? So that is, they are not doing that in case of option D. That should clearly be rejected. Because best of course of action will help Amish best defend FICT's continued association. D is not doing that. E कह रहा है, publicize on social media that celebrities endorsement of Wadiya tourism is not for that dictatorship angle, but because of helping improve the livelihood of Wadiya's poor. So that makes sense, that celebrities endorsing Wadiya tourism for helping improve the livelihood of Wadiya's poor. So this is giving us a reason, a defense. So definitely a good option. बाकी options को check करते हैं. Ignore social media backlash, assuming that in a few days a new issue will be trending. So you are ignoring it. So not giving any defense as such. No defense is provided. Just ignoring. Option A is also ignored. Option B, publicize on social media that FICT has nothing to do with the celebrities association. This is again, you are publicizing that you have no association whatsoever, nothing to do with celebrities association with other brands. So again, a poor defense, if any. So rejected. Option C, declare on social media that FICT chose the celebrity for his philanthropic works. That is fine. You are giving the rational reason behind why FICT chose him. But current situation को redress कर रहा है क्या? Current situation में तो problem है ना? So currently you can remove him, but you are not removing him. So this is not, again, not a proper defense. This is just the reasoning कि why you chose him, but you are not addressing the current situation. So best option is option E, that you are defending him and giving a reason that endorsement of Wadiya tourism is just to help improve livelihood of Wadiya's poor. So that is the best option, option E. Clear है? Appreciate कर पा रहे हो इस बात को? Next question पे चलते हैं. FICT's closest competitor, Shop at Us, SAU, wants to grab this opportunity. They have come up with a slogan, never at the cost of human rights. which has started trending in the social media. Amish is unsure if he should respond to the social media campaign of the competitor. So what should he do? Which of the following options, if true, will best assure Amish that SAU slogan is not affecting FICT's business negatively? Best assure Amish that SAU slogan is not affecting the business. ठीक है, तो कब ऐसा होगा? जबकि after the slogan or after their campaign, the sales of FICT are not getting hampered. Isn't it so? So either they are constant or they are increasing, but they are not getting hampered. If they are getting hampered after the campaign, then definitely this is affecting FICT's business negatively. So let us read the options. Option A, more people are looking for cash on delivery for the high-end products since the SAU slogan launch, which is against companies' policies. Okay. Option B, FICT's average monthly sales revenue has decreased by 3% overall when compared with the same month previous year. तो दो decrease बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है, not significant, but still this is a decrease, so this is not assuring him. ठीक है, assuring तो नहीं लग रहा, तो this is also rejected because it is anyway decrease. Option C, FICT's average monthly sales revenue has increased by 1% overall since last month. Now by the same logic, revenue है, increase किया है, but by 1% only. तो ये तो कह सकते हैं कि काइंड ऑफ कांस्टेंट है, स्लाइट इंक्रीज है, तो बहुत ज़्यादा तो नहीं कह सकते, बट इतना जरूर कह सकते हैं कि हाँ डिक्रीज तो नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है, तो होल्ड पे रखते हैं. ऑप्शन डी, FICT's एवरेज मंथली सेल्स वॉल्यूम हैज इंक्रीज्ड बाय 5% सिंस द SAU स्लोगन लॉन्च. तो दिस इज कंप्लीट in the sense that this is saying that average monthly sales volume has increased by 5%. Then it is also saying since the SAU slogan launch, यानी कि this is also effectively sharing about कि that their slogan launch and their campaign has not deflected, has not negatively affected FICT's business, because even after that average monthly sales volume has increased by 5%. And additionally, last words are very important, driven by sales to repeat customers. Driven by sales to repeat customers, यानी कि the old customers are still purchasing. Isn't it so? This is not sales just by new customers, but the customers are having trust in FillInCart, FICT. So the repeat customers are increasing their sales, and that has resulted in average monthly sales volume increase by 5%. So this is a very, very good option, very promising option. So definitely this is better than option C. So D is much better than option C, because this is basically saying that this is happening since the SAU slogan launch, and this is driven by repeat customers, and there is an increase of 5%, which is also significant. Option E, number of visitors to FICT's homepage has increased by 15% since the SAU slogan launch. This is also mentioning SAU slogan launch, but ये बात कर रहा है number of visitors का increase का. Number of visitors is not necessarily equal to number of sales. तो किसी वजह से विजिट कर रहे हो सकता है, ठीक है, they might have been visiting to just negatively rate things. तो डेफिनेटली ऑप्शन डी इज द बेस्ट ऑप्शन. ओके, तो डी शुड बी सेलेक्टेड. अच्छा, ऑप्शन ए कह रहा था मोर पीपल आर लुकिंग फॉर कैश ऑन डिलीवरी फॉर हाई एंड प्रोडक्ट्स. अच्छा, इन केसेस में, हालांकि यहाँ पे इस क्वेश्चन में उसका जरूरत नहीं है, ऑप्शन डी इज क्लियर बिना, और ऑप्शन ए पे हमें कुछ ज़्यादा सोचना नहीं है, ना ही स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन है, बट अदरवाइज होता क्या है जिस वजह से ऑप्शन ए मेंशन है, बिकॉज मेनी पीपल ऑप्ट फॉर कैश ऑन डिलीवरी फॉर हाई एंड प्रोडक्ट्स, हाई प्राइस्ड प्रोडक्ट्स, एंड देन दे कैंसिल इट जस्ट टू निगेटिवली हैम्पर द बिजनेस ऑफ अ कंपनी. क्या ये अप्रिशिएट कर पा रहे हो? ठीक है, बाकी इन दिस केस ऑप्शन डी इज क्लियर ना, तो दैट इज द आंसर. और ए वैसे भी निगेटिव होता अगर उस डायरेक्शन में भी सोचेंगे तो. थर्ड वन, ट्रैक्ट अ मेजर ट्रैवल एंड हॉस्पिटैलिटी कॉन्ग्लोमेरेट ऑपरेट्स ग्लोबली विद अ सिग्निफिकेंट प्रेजेंस इन वादिया. Ever since the celebrity has signed the contract with Wadiya Tourism, the number of international tourists in Wadiya has increased manifold. Companies like Tract have a great hope towards the future of tourism in Wadiya. Consequently, Tract is looking forward to increase its investments in Wadiya. However, Tract is concerned about the social media backlash against the celebrity. So that is the concern of Tract. Tract fears that the celebrity may terminate his contract with Wadiya Tourism. Which of the following data available in the public domain will best assure Tract that the celebrity will continue his association with the tourism sector of Wadiya? ठीक है, इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगेन इस क्वेश्चन में ट्रैप में फंसोगे अगर क्वेश्चन को ढंग से नहीं पढ़ोगे, क्वेश्चन के नुएंसेस को ढंग से नहीं समझोगे. क्वेश्चन हमें क्या कह रहा है? विच द फॉलोइंग डाटा अवेलेबल इन द पब्लिक डोमेन विल बेस्ट assure Tract that the celebrity will continue his association with the tourism sector of Wadiya. Option A, last week the celebrity announced that any backlash against him is a support for terrorism. So he announced that any backlash against him is a support for terrorism. Option B, a week back the celebrity released videos of the interiors of Wadiya where the poor need help. Option C, recently the celebrity pledged 5% of his annual income towards global poverty alleviation. Option D, last fortnight the celebrity declared in the social media that upliftment of the poor is his biggest goal in the upcoming decade. And last one, a week back, the celebrity signed on as the goodwill ambassador of the Kingdom of Dubiya, where recently the king ferociously crushed insurgency. Okay. ठीक है. So हमारा concern क्या है? Concern of tract is that celebrity continues his association with the tourism sector. If you skip that, then you might have chosen wrong option. कमेंट में मेंशन करना अगर तुमसे गलती हुआ था. ठीक है. पहली बात, ऑप्शन सी एंड ऑप्शन डी, इन पे फोकस करो. ऑप्शन सी इज सेइंग recently the celebrity pledged 5% of his annual income towards global poverty alleviation. This is very generic. This is not specific to Wadiya. Generic and talking about poverty. Focusing on poverty alleviation. हमारा कंसर्न क्या है? टूरिज्म सेक्टर. तो eliminated. Option D, last fortnight celebrity declared social media upliftment of poor is his biggest goal. Again, eliminated because generic, not for Wadiya and related to poverty. Okay, so these two are eliminated. Option B, celebrity released videos of the interiors of Wadiya where poor. Again, interiors of Wadiya where poor need help. So this is not generic. This is specific to Wadiya, but talking about poverty, not tourism. Talking about poverty. Hence, this must also be eliminated because this is talking about wrong sector. Option A, last week the celebrity announced that any backlash against him is a support for terrorism. This will further increase backlash. इसकी वजह से क्या होगा? Escalate होगा issue. Further backlash बढ़ेगा और maybe if backlash increases, he has to terminate the contract. Option E is the best option because option E कह रहा है a week back celebrity signed on as the goodwill ambassador of the Kingdom of Dubiya, where recently the king ferociously crushed insurgency. So celebrities again associating with another country where similar thing is happening, so he's not really bothered about such things. ठीक है, he's not really bothered about such backlashes. So this implies that celebrity is not bothered about backlashes, so he will not terminate. Because instead of terminating, he signed with another country as the goodwill ambassador. So definitely option E is the best option and gives the proper reasoning that he will not terminate the contract. Okay, last एक सेकेंड, हाँ सारा कंप्लीट हो गया. दिस सेट इज कंप्लीटेड. नेक्स्ट सेट पे मूव ऑन करते हैं. Next one, Ashraf has been working at a cyber security company called Newtech Private Limited for 7 years. और this is the basic premise. Then there are 3 questions. तो पहले एक बार questions को attempt कर लेना, उसके बाद में देखो. Ashraf has been working at a cyber security company called Newtech Private Limited and he's working there for 7 years. Having missed a promotion in the previous appraisal cycle, Ashraf is anxious about it in the upcoming cycle. Ashraf is aware that the HR head is meeting the top management to discuss promotions sometime soon. At a Newtech, the HR head recommends names for promotions to the top management based on inputs from the functional teams. On a Friday afternoon, Ashraf receives an email from Sridevi, the HR head. It reads, "Hi, I need an urgent favor from you. Please respond if you're free." It was the first time that Sridevi ever contacted him. Surprised, Ashraf immediately replies back saying, "Sure, how can I help you, Sridevi? Regards, Ashraf." In a couple of minutes, he received a reply, "Ashraf, I am in the middle of an important meeting but have to urgently send gift vouchers worth rupees 50,000 to one of our important clients. If you could, please purchase and send the gift vouchers to the email address given below at the earliest." Ashraf, without any delay, sends gift vouchers worth rupees 50,000 to the given email address. That is our basic premise. So Ashraf is anxiously waiting for a promotion because he has been there in the company, in Newtech company, for 7 years. Anxious about the promotion. And he knows that HR head is going to meet top management regarding this very soon. And Friday afternoon ko he received a email from Sridevi, the HR head, and then she asked him for a favor and hence he reverted back. This is our basic premise. So first question, Ashraf feels happy after the brief email interaction with Sridevi. Question is, which of the following statements, if true, will best help Ashraf strongly hopeful about his imminent promotion? Which of the following statements, if true, will best make Ashraf strongly hopeful about the imminent promotion? कौन सा ऑप्शन होगा? ऑप्शन ए, Ashraf's immediate junior Shamsher, who worked closely with Sridevi, was promoted last year. So he is Ashraf's immediate junior, but he also worked closely with Sridevi and was promoted last year. But Shamsher was working closely with Sridevi. Ashraf is not भाई ये तो एक टाइम का ही इनका इंटरेक्शन हुआ है, तो डेफिनेटली दिस इज नॉट गिविंग हिम sufficient reason. Isn't it so? Not sufficient reason. Option B, it is for the first time ever that Sridevi directly approached Ashraf to contact a client. Now, seems fine, but क्या ये valid reason होगा? Because first time Sridevi has directly approached Ashraf does not mean that he will be promoted because of this. Isn't it so? Option C, that Sridevi chose Ashraf over others for help while in the midst of a meeting with the top management. So this is important because the question was saying that the email reads that Sridevi needed help because she was in the middle of an important meeting but have to urgently send gift vouchers. ठीक है, so this makes sense that Sridevi chose Ashraf if true, again if true. ठीक है, so if this is true, chose Ashraf over others for help while in the middle of a meeting with the top management. So Sridevi has to discuss, the HR head has to discuss with top management about the promotions, and Sridevi chose Ashraf exactly at the same time, or probably with the top management, when she was with the top management, meeting with the top management, and she chose Ashraf over others. So definitely this makes sense. Option D, Ashraf has heard from his industry friends that HR heads accept favors for recommending employees promotions. Now this is kind of hearsay, or hearsay based answers are generally not correct in XAT. ठीक है, क्योंकि hearsay based answers क्यों correct नहीं होंगे? Because this is uncertain, rumor है, कई सुनी बातें हैं, तो not necessarily true. Okay, ठीक है, so option D is rejected. Option E, Sridevi is known for her elite social circle and extravagant lifestyle. Now this is completely irrelevant to the question asked. So option C should be clearly the answer. Okay. Next question. Ashraf does not hear anything from Sridevi in the next few days. So he was already anxious, तो और anxious हो गया कि he has not heard anything. Anxiously, he meets up Sridevi and inquires if the gift vouchers were appreciated by the client. This surprises Sridevi, who closely scrutinizes Ashraf's emails and discovers that they originated from sridevi.newtech.com instead of sridevi.newtech.com, her official email ID. Taken aback, Ashraf requests Sridevi's help in getting compensated by the company for his rupees 50,000 loss. Sridevi asks Ashraf to justify his compensation demand. Ashraf gives the following reasons. Then there are 5 reasons. Question है हमारा, which of the above mentioned reasons in a combination will best help Sridevi take up the issue with the top management? So which will be the best justification out of the given 5 reasons in combination to best help Sridevi take up the issue with the top management? Statements given are: number 1, I erred, however my financial rectitude is on record. Number 2, I acted in the greater interest of the company. Number 3, the spam mail reached my inbox due to the failure of the company's email filter. 4, a new tech employee who was robbed of rupees 20,000 of company's cash was not punished. And option 5, in the past, some of my acquaintances had been similarly duped. ठीक है, now we have to select a few statements and reject a few. हर एक केस में 3 ऑप्शंस है, 3 ही स्टेटमेंट सेलेक्ट करने हैं. ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, I erred, however my financial activities on record. So this is taking accountability that he made a mistake, that he's accepting. So that is first thing. That should be the first thing. If you've made a mistake, accountability, taking accountability and responsibility should be the first thing. So this should be selected. That yes, he made a mistake, he is accepting that. Second one, I acted in the greater interest of the company. So he was not acting out of self-interest, but for the greater good, for company. So that is also sensible. So 1 and then 2. And the third, the spam mail reached my inbox due to the failure of the company's email filter. Now irony is that this is the company, a cyber security company. Newtech Private Limited is a cyber security company. And the spam mail, the mail reached his inbox. So that is a failure of the company's email filter as well. So company should also be held accountable, isn't it so? So first is he accepted his accountability. Then second, he told that he is acting in the greater interest of the company. And the third one, that this was possible because the email reached his inbox due to the failure of the company's email filter. So 1, 2 and 3 is the best possible option. 4 and 5 क्या कह रहा है? 4 कह रहा है, a new tech employee who was robbed of rupees 20,000 of company's cash was not punished. So this is, he's saying about history of such precedents. So history is not much of justification. Not much of justification. Number 5, in the past, some of my acquaintances had been similarly duped. अब यहाँ पे अशरफ कह रहा है कि कुछ acquaintances को भी ड्यूप किया गया, इसके बाद भी अशरफ ने सबक नहीं सीखा and he still got duped. Isn't it so? तो क्या ये opposite direction नहीं जा रहा है कि 5 is instead going in the opposite direction कि acquaintances got duped and still he has not learned his lesson and he himself got duped. तो दिस इज गोइंग इन द ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन, इसकी वजह से तो मामला रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा भाई, ठीक है. सो दिस डेफिनेटली शुड बी इग्नोर्ड एंड देन 4 ऑल्सो. 1, 2 and 3 is the best option and hence option B will be the answer. Okay. Next one. Sridevi begins to doubt Ashraf's competencies given the way he handled the phishing emails. Thus, she convenes a meeting with the senior leadership to discuss Ashraf's role in the company. In the meeting, she shares the following observations. Then she is sharing 5 observations. The question is, which of the above observations in a combination, if true, shall best go against Ashraf's chances of getting promoted? So we have to choose that combination which, if true, best goes against promotion. Like it should be negative for Ashraf, not positive or neutral. Should be negative for Ashraf. Ashraf is poor at verbal communication, which is critical at subsequent levels. Makes sense. He's poor at verbal communication, critical at subsequent levels. This is going negative against Ashraf, so should be included. Second one, Ashraf should have been perceptive even though the company's email filter failed him. So should have been perceptive. That also makes sense, even though the email filter failed. Third one, Ashraf joined the email filter team 1 month prior to the receiving phishing emails. So he himself joined the email filter team, and yet he's all talking about this email failure. So he himself is responsible for this. Very negative, highly negative. This must be included. And the 2 also is negative for that. So this should also be included. 4-1, Ashraf rushed to act on Sridevi's request despite his busy schedule. So ये तो positive जा रहा है उल्टा. He rushed to act on Sridevi's request despite the busy schedule. This is going positive. This should not be included. 5, Ashraf appears to be highly anxious to get promoted. Na to positive hai na negative, neutral hai kind of. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3 again should be the answer. Option C. Clear है? ठीक है, अगले सेट पे चलते हैं. आई बिलीव अब तक सेशन में जितनी भी हमने नुएंसेस डिस्कस की वो सारी बातें समझ में आई होंगी. ठीक है, ओके. नेक्स्ट सेट. जब भी किसी पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में इफ़ यू चोजन रॉन्ग आंसर विच विल हैपन समटाइम्स, तो पॉज एंड प्लीज़ लिसन टू द एक्सप्लेनेशन न्यूट्रली. ठीक है, एक बायस के साथ में मत सुनना, क्योंकि बायस के साथ सुनने में कई बार ये होता है कि जो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है जो मैं तुम्हें बता रहा हूँ, जो क्वेश्चन में मेंशन है, जो तुमने समहाउ मिस किया होगा शायद, तभी तुमने गलत ऑप्शन चूज़ किया डेफिनेटली, तो फिर वो चीज़ें मिस हो जाती हैं कई बार. तो हमेशा कोशिश करो कि व्हेन यू आर लिसनिंग टू द एक्सप्लेनेशन, तो कीप योर बायसेस ऑन द बैक साइड ऑफ द माइंड एंड लिसन केयरफुली. ओके, नेक्स्ट सेट डिस्कस करते हैं. दिस इज द बेसिक प्रीमाइस एंड देन देयर आर 3 क्वेश्चंस. बिकॉज कई क्वेश्चन ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पे कि ट्रैप होता है, ट्रैप सेट होता है. जैसे वादिया वाला जो था, टूरिज्म पे फोकस करना था हमको, और समझो कोई और ऑप्शन चूज कर लो वहाँ पे, क्योंकि तुमने टूरिज्म पे फोकस नहीं किया. ओके, सो रोहिणी इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट पॉपुलर फैकल्टी मेंबर्स इन द फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट, वन ऑफ द मोस्ट पॉपुलर, and she is known for her in-class engagement with her students. Every year, she offers an elective financial risk and derivatives management in the 4th term, which gets subscribed by about 100 students. Okay. So this year, owing to COVID-19, she is forced to teach the courses online, that too in the 5th term. So in general, she was teaching this course in the 4th term, and which is getting subscribed by 100 students. But this year, she is teaching the course online because of COVID-19, and that too in the 5th term. Now, 5th term is notorious for its non-negotiable teaching slots. To enable her teaching, Rohini uses her favorite laptop, Maplebook Lite, sold by Maple. Rohini converts her family bedroom into a working room because of the strong Wi-Fi signals. The family bedroom is the basically working room for her. The room is mostly used by Rohini for taking her classes. However, her husband also uses it for running his meetings. Rohini has 2 children, aged 5 and aged 8, who use the living room as their playground. So family bedroom is the working room or living room is the playground. Okay, ठीक है. Family bedroom is the working room and living room is the playground. Now, during meeting and the classes, the working room is shut to save it from unwanted disturbances and noises from the living room. It is 3:10 p.m. and Rohini's penultimate session of the course is going to end in 20 minutes. One sec, थोड़ा सा पावर का इशू हो रहा है, एक सेकेंड. Okay, so during meetings and classes, the working room is shut to save it from unwanted disturbances and noises from the living room. It is 3:10 p.m. and Rohini's penultimate session, penultimate यानी कि just one before the last session of the course, is going to end in 20 minutes. As usual, Rinku enters the room with a cup of Darjeeling tea, Just before entering, he asks his kids to stop playing for some time. He quietly places the teacup on Rohini's study table and exits the room, leaving the room ajar. So quietly places the teacup, exits the room, but leaves the room ajar. So door खुला छोड़ दिया. As soon as he leaves, a tennis ball comes thundering inside, crashing into her Maplebook monitor. The monitor breaks and Rohini's class ends abruptly, much before the scheduled time. This is our basic premise for this question. Okay. So, first question. What should be best held responsible for the accident? Okay. Kids not checking the door before resuming play, COVID-19 imprisoning Rohini and her children in a closeted space, Rinku Singh leaving the door ajar, Rinku Singh not waiting for the class to get over before serving tea, or option E, Rohini not locking the door from inside during the class hours. Which should be held responsible for this? Now clearly, since Rinku Singh entered the room, entered the room, and then when he left, he did not leave the room, leave the door, he left the room, but he did not close the door. So if he had not closed the door while he should have, then definitely he is responsible, Rinku Singh, for leaving the door ajar, isn't it so? This should be the answer. Because clearly he knew that children were playing. That is why just before entering, he asks his kids to stop playing for some time. So he knew that kids are playing, and still he left the door ajar. So that is why he should be held responsible, because he knew कि क्या हो सकता है, ये प्लेग्राउंड बना के उन्होंने रखा ही हुआ है. तो as soon as he leaves, the tennis ball enters and कहानी हो गई. तो ऑप्शन सी इज द आंसर. अच्छा, किड्स नॉट चेकिंग द डोर बिफोर रिज्यूमिंग प्ले इज इमेच्योर एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम किड्स. ठीक है, एजेड 5 and 8 है, तो उनसे एक्सपेक्ट करना है कि वो चेक करते डोर को, डज नॉट मेक सेंस. तो ऑप्शन ए इज रिजेक्टेड. ऑप्शन बी, कोविड-19 को रिस्पॉन्सिबल ठहराना, भाई कोविड-19 की वजह से सबके लैपटॉप थोड़ी टूट गए, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट valid concern. Rinku Singh not waiting for the class to get over before serving tea, तो he was doing that as a goodwill gesture. ये तो अच्छी बात है कि he was caring for her. तो this is also not the reason. Option E, Rohini not locking the door because she was unaware that door is unlocked, so that is why she should also not be held responsible. Option C is the best option, and that should be the reason. Next one. Rohini has her concluding session scheduled the very next day. Which of the following is the best course of action for Rohini regarding the final session? तो लास्ट सेशन है, उसके लिए क्या बेस्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन होगा? ऑप्शन है, शी शुड इन्फॉर्म द स्टूडेंट्स दैट द कोर्स इज डीम्ड कंक्लूडेड विद 19 सेशंस. प्रॉब्लम क्या हो गया? लैपटॉप हैज बीन ब्रोकन, सो नाउ कैसे सेशन ले पाएगी? सो दैट इज द कंसर्न. शी शुड इन्फॉर्म द स्टूडेंट्स दैट द कोर्स इज डीम्ड कंक्लूडेड विद द 19 सेशंस. So now that cannot be done. That is not right. She should defer the session until she finds a suitable slot. Okay, defer it. She should take her last session on her mobile phone and request students to tolerate the inferior experience. She should cancel the session and ask students to mail video presentations on the topic she intended to teach. And last one, she should request Churna, her colleague, to take her sessions the next day. अब इंपॉर्टेंट बात क्या है, जो ऑलरेडी हमें मेंशन था इस क्वेश्चन के बेसिक प्रीमाइस में ही, कि अर्लियर शी यूज्ड टू टेक this course in 4th term, but this year she is taking it in the 5th term and online. Okay, and 5th term is basically notorious for non-negotiable teaching slots, so she cannot defer it because these teaching slots are non-negotiable, so she cannot defer it. Otherwise उसका डिफर करके नेक्स्ट डे क्लास हो जाती, कभी हो जाता, बट इन दिस केस शी कैनॉट डू दैट. तो डिफरिंग to find the next suitable slot, that will not be possible because of notorious nature of slots in 5th term. So B is rejected. Option A, course deemed concluded without taking the last session, that is unfair to the students, so should not be done. Option C, she should take the last session on mobile phone and request students to tolerate the inferior experience. Okay, बाकी options को देखते हैं. She should cancel the session and ask students to mail video presentations instead. तो अपना काम क्या है, बच्चों को पकड़ा दिया, स्टूडेंट्स को पकड़ा दिया, तो this is also not fair. She should request Churna, her colleague, to take her sessions the next day. Now we have no idea about Churna and her competencies as well. How competent she is for the course that is being talked about. So we have no idea about that. Uncertain outcome. So this should not be selected. ठीक है, uncertain है, so that is why we will not be selecting option E, and best option will be option C. She should take her last session on her mobile phone and request students to tolerate the inferior experience, because she can make the class engaging, so she can do that on a mobile phone as well. ठीक है, लैपटॉप नहीं है, मोबाइल फोन पे काम चल जाएगा, but this is the best option among the given options, and hence C should be selected because we have no idea about Churna, how competent she is and Can she make the class as interactive as Rohini can? And this is the last session. ठीक है, दिस इज नॉट सम सेशन इन द मिडिल, बिकॉज मिडिल में कोई सेशन होता तो पॉसिबल हो सकता था कि स्वर्णा को क्लास रिन्यू कह देती इफ शी वॉज कम्पिटेंट, बट अदरवाइज ऑल्सो दिस इज द लास्ट सेशन, कंक्लूडिंग सेशन है, तो दिस मस्ट बी टेकन बाय रोहिणी ओनली एंड शी इज द बेस्ट कम्पिटेंट फॉर दैट इवन इफ ऑन अ मोबाइल फोन. तो ऑप्शन सी इज द आंसर. ओके, क्लियर है. नेक्स्ट लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ दिस सेट. विथ the sixth term around the corner, Rohini goes to the Maple Service Center only to find that a replacement for her crashed monitor may take several weeks. So it may take several weeks. However, Dhanraj, the service center head, offers to replace the damaged monitor with a monitor from a used laptop. He assures Rohini that the used monitor is as good as a new one. Which of the following options, if true, will give Rohini the best reason to accept the offer? हमें वो reason choose करना है, best reason that is giving Rohini the reasoning to accept the offer. Option A, Rohini is a long-time customer of the Maple store which runs the service center. So she is a long-time customer. So this gives her reliability and trust. That is a good factor. ठीक है, that is a good factor. hold पे रखते हैं. Option B, her husband's meetings will be few and far between in the next few weeks. Now this is completely irrelevant. How that helps, ठीक है, in Rohini to accept the offer? How that helps Rohini to accept the offer? Definitely irrelevant. Rejected. Option C, Dhanraj is a friend of Rohini's colleague Swarna. Dhanraj is not friend of Rohini, but friend of Rohini's colleague Swarna. Dhanraj is a friend of Swarna. He may still dupe Rohini. Rohini को स्कैम तो कर ही सकता है ना, फूल तो बना ही सकता है, क्या जाता है उसमें. तो just because he is a friend of Swarna does not mean that he can be trusted and relied by Rohini. Not sure. Option D, Dhanraj offers a 3-month personal assurance on the used monitor. So he is offering a 3-month assurance, but that assurance is personal assurance. तो कैसे इसको अल्टीमेटली अप्लाई करोगे अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो, क्योंकि पर्सनल एश्योरेंस है, कल को मुकर गया तो वी आर अनसर्टेन अबाउट द आउटकम बिकॉज द एश्योरेंस इज नॉट प्रोफेशनल बट अ पर्सनल एश्योरेंस. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम, अनसर्टेन. रोहिणी हैज टू स्टार्ट हर 6th term course in a month. Now read carefully. Rohini went to Maple Service Center and a replacement may take several weeks and there is still a month time in starting the 6th term course. तो several weeks कितने weeks है पता नहीं, but still there is a time. तो अगर there is time, तो this is not best reason because she still has time, तो she can find other alternate solutions. ठीक है, she can look for other alternate solutions if that are possible. That is possible. तो उसके लिए देखा जा सकता है. So that is why best option is option A. She will be accepting this offer because she is a long time customer of the Maple store, so she can trust them, she can rely on them. Option A will be the best option among the given options. Is that clear? Okay. So let's start. Next set. So this is the basic premise and then there are 3 questions. Churna is a peaceful village surrounded by thickly forested high hills that isolate it from the rest of the world. Peaceful village surrounded by thickly forested high hills that isolate it from the rest of the world. Agriculture is the main occupation of the Churna villagers. Moreover, the forests provide seasonal fruits, tubers, medicinal herbs, and other forest produce in abundance. For all material needs not produced locally, the Churna villagers depend on Tendua, that is a far-away town. Now, basically, Churna is a peaceful village surrounded by thickly forested hills. So there are many hills, and between those hills, there is Churna. Surrounded by those hills, and there is a town, Tendua, far-away town. And Churna people are dependent on town Tendua for their needs. Okay. So once a month, the Churna women would arduously trek with the surplus produce to Tendua. In the Tendua market, they convey the virtues of their produce through a beautiful song and dance routine. Reputed for their hard bargaining skills, they always manage to extract a premium barter from the traders, more than fulfilling all their material needs. So this is the basic premise. Since they are surrounded by thickly forested high hills, so they are dependent on a faraway town, Tendua, for their other material needs when the material needs that cannot be produced locally. Okay. So first question. Damdu, an ambitious trader of Tendua, wants to have exclusive access to all the surplus produce from Churna. He wants to have exclusive access to all the surplus from Churna. Which of the following offers to the Churna village will best help Damdu achieve her objective? Option A, Damru should offer to provide colorful saris that the women of Churna fancy. Option B, Damlu should offer to set up a shop in Churna which will barter all the material requirements of the village. Option C, Damlu should offer to educate the Churna villagers about cash transactions. And option D, Damlu should offer novel products unseen by the Churna villagers. And option E, Damlu should offer to transport the villagers monthly material purchases from Tendua to Churna for free. अब कंसर्न क्या है, Churna villagers का कंसर्न क्या है कि they can only go once a month. Churna women can only go once a month and arduous trek होगा, ठीक है, difficult trek है, and they are going with the surplus produce to Tendua. So if this problem is resolved, they will be satisfied. So option A is saying Damlu should offer to provide colorful saris. Now this may help once a while, but कितना help करेगा? And this will not be sufficient to give him exclusive access. So not sufficient, definitely. Not sufficient. Option B, Damlu should offer to set up a shop in Churna. So he is setting up a shop in Churna itself, which will barter all the material needs requirements of the village. That way, the trek is no more needed. तो ट्रैक की जरूरत ही नहीं है, तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व्ड. तो ही इज सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम. सो दिस इज अ गुड ऑप्शन. Option C, Damlu should offer to educate the Churna villagers about cash transactions. So earlier, as of now, they are doing barter transactions. They do not need any cash whatsoever. और सारा का सारा जब उनका इकोनॉमी सेल्फ सेंट्रिक, तो उनको कैश की ज़्यादा जरूरत भी नहीं है. तो इवन इफ ही इज मेकिंग देम अवेयर अबाउट द कैश ट्रांजैक्शंस, तो कितना हेल्प करेगा उनको. और क्या जरूरत है इसकी, कोई जरूरत भी नहीं है. तो कैश ट्रांजैक्शंस की जरूरत उनको कब पड़ेगी, व्हेन दे आर इंटरेक्टिंग विद सम अदर इकोनॉमी, सम अदर विलेज, सम अदर टाउन. तो इफ दे आर गोइंग टू तेंदुआ, देन कैश ट्रांजैक्शन में हेल्प. तो इसकी वजह से तो इफेक्ट क्या हो सकता है, ऑपोजिट हो सकता है. If they are more aware of the cash transactions, they might more frequently go to Tendua, isn't it so? या फिर और इंसेंटिव होगा तो वो ज्यादा तेंदुआ की तरफ जाएंगे. उल्टा तो नहीं होगा कि इट विल गिव देम एक्सक्लूसिव एक्सेस, गिव Damlu exclusive access to all the surplus. तो that is not possible. So hence this should be rejected for sure. Damlu should offer novel products. Now they do not need novel products. They need their products to be sold, and accordingly they can buy other products. So D is also rejected. And last option, Damlu should offer to transport the villagers monthly material purchases from Tendua to Churna for free. अब ये तो आधी प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर रहा है कि हाफ प्रॉब्लम इज सॉल्व्ड. The transport back is solved, but still surplus produce has to be taken to Churna, isn't it so? और फिर उसके लिए अब जब Churna तक लेके गई हैं तो फिर एक्सक्लूसिव एक्सेस कहाँ मिला Damlu को, ठीक है. They can still sell through barter system to other sellers, isn't it so? So that is why best option is option B, because option B में Damlu is setting his shop inside Churna. So that way everyone in Churna will be giving their surplus produce to Damlu only, and then Damlu can take all that item outside Churna to Tendua town, and then he can sell out that as per his wishes. So that is the best option. Option B is giving him exclusive access as is desired by him. Okay. Next question. The head woman of Churna grant exclusive access to the surplus produce to Damlu. However, Damlu's euphoria dies down when she finds fewer takers for Churna's produce in Tendua. This trend continues for the next few months. Now he has exclusive access, but he is not finding many sellers. That is the problem. Which of the following could be the most possible reason for Damlu finding fewer takers for Churna's produce at Tendua? What could be most possible reason? Option A, Damlu cannot sing and dance simultaneously. Option B, hard bargaining experience offered by Churna's women is missed by the traders of the Tendua. Option C, the Churna women offered the authenticity that Damlu could not match. Option D, the traders in the Tendua market miss the aesthetics of the beautiful song and dance by Churna women. And option E, Churna's produce is one of the many items in Damlu's inventory. क्या आंसर हो सकता है? देखो, डेफिनेटली Damlu cannot sing and dance simultaneously, but is this the sufficient reason? अगर वो सिंग और डांस कर पाता तो क्या सेल हो जाता आइटम्स, ठीक है. इज दिस द रीजन, ठीक है. और फिर अगर इस रीजन की बात करते हैं तो फिर एक रीजन है हमारा ऑप्शन डी, ट्रेडर्स इन द Tendua मार्केट मिस द एस्थेटिक्स ऑफ द ब्यूटीफुल सॉन्ग एंड डांस बाय Churna women. मे बी दे आर मिसिंग दैट, बट ज्यादा बेटर ऑप्शन क्या होगा, मिसिंग द एस्थेटिक्स ऑफ द ब्यूटीफुल सॉन्ग एंड डांस और ऑथेंटिसिटी, बिकॉज दीज सॉन्ग एंड डांसेस डन बाय Churna women were to sell their produces, isn't it so? So this was their identity. So they were basically selling their authentic products, है कि नहीं. तो authenticity was the primary driver and not song and dance. So the authenticity is greater than song plus dance. So definitely better option will be between C and D if you are choosing. So C is better than D, because authenticity he cannot match. Song and dance तो फिर भी सीख ही सकता है. Okay. और Damlu sing and dancing does not make sense. So A is rejected. B, hard bargaining experience can be the reason. So this is not the reason. Why this is not the reason? Because even if hard bargaining ends up इन चीपर प्रोडक्ट, है कि नहीं, कि तुमने प्रोडक्ट के लिए जो प्राइसिंग है वो कम कर दिया, ज़्यादा बार्गेनिंग किया, बार्गेनिंग करके सस्ते में ले लिया. तो क्या ये रीज़न हो सकता है? विल दिस बी द रीज़न कि नाउ दैट इज मिस्ड बाय द ट्रेडर्स? नॉट सफिशिएंट, because they might be getting better prices without hard bargaining. So if they are missing hard bargaining, that does not make sense, because ultimately they might be getting better price ना. अब तो ज़्यादा प्राइस मिलना चाहिए, क्योंकि हार्ड बार्गेनिंग नहीं हो रहा है. तो B does not make sense. And C, definitely the answer, that Churna women offered the authenticity that Damru cannot match. और E है, Churna's produce is one of the many items. This is also a reason. ठीक है, this is a secondary reason, but this is one of the many items. This is a secondary reason. Best reason is authenticity, he cannot match. क्योंकि वन ऑफ द मेनी आइटम्स की वजह से क्या होगा? लैक ऑफ फोकस होगा. His focus is not to sell the Churna items only, but still the authenticity is the best option. Option C is the best option among the given options. Okay. Next question. A few months after granting exclusive access to Damru, the village council of Churna meets to discuss the progress. After much debate and heated discussions, the village council decides to terminate the contract with Damru. The village council feels that if the contract continues, then 5 reasons are given. We have to select that answer which satisfy the question stem. Which of the following concerns, which of the above concerns, when arranged in descending order of significance, will best support the decision to terminate the contract with Damru? Now, this is again a trap question. If you will not understand this question properly, chances are you will be getting it wrong. So, which of the above concerns, when arranged in descending order of significance, will best support the decision to terminate the contract with Damru? अब contract Damru के साथ था क्या और क्यों था? Contract was granting exclusive access to Damru to surplus produce, है कि नहीं? तो this exclusive access was because of surplus produce. Now let us read the options, the statements given. Statement number 1, over time, Churna's produce will lose its association with Churna. That is significant. That is a good reason. Second one, Churna's people will be ignorant of new developments in the market. Third one, Churna's dance and song will be losing its identity. This is also valid. Option 4, Churna's people will lose social interaction with the outer world. And last option, Churna's people will lose their hard bargaining skills. Now, सबसे पहले ये बात समझना जरूरी है कि the contract with Damru was an economic contract. So they are terminating the contract. That is an economic contract. So if they are terminating that contract, so the most important reason should be an economic reason. Isn't it so? So that should be an economic reason. So first we'll be giving preference to those reasons which are economic reasons, and then we'll be giving preference to those reasons which are social and cultural. So over time, Churna's produce will be losing its association with Churna. So that makes sense. That is the economic reason. So this should be preferred. Because if once Churna's produce loses association with Churna, तो फिर इंपॉर्टेंस खत्म हो गया, और फिर इंपॉर्टेंस एक बार खत्म हो गया तो दैट इज इरिवर्सिबल. फिर दोबारा से कैसे इंपॉर्टेंस लाओगे? एंड देन इट्स वैल्यू विल बी लॉस्ट फॉर एवर. Isn't it so? So that connection with Churna is important. That is relevant, and that is going to be missed after a while. So that is losing its association. That is the problem. Second one, Churna's people will be ignorant of new developments in the market. Now again, this is the economic reason. Developments in the market, and that they are ignorant about, and this will cost them ultimately. Churna's dance and song will lose their identity. This also makes sense, but this is not an economic reason. So this should be having a lower significance. Fourth one, Churna's people will be losing social interaction with the outer world. Again, not an economic reason. Matters, important है, but economic नहीं है. And last one, Churna's people will be losing their hard bargaining skills. Now this is the economic reason because they are losing their bargaining skills. So this is also important. तो कौन से reason सबसे पहले होना चाहिए? 1, 2 and 5 because these three are economic. क्या ये बात appreciate कर पा रहे हो कि these three should be at first 3 places. अब इनका order क्या होगा? 1 and 2 are more important. तो first 1, then 2, then 5. And after these 3, we'll be having other 2 options. So 1, 2, 5 are only in option A. So this should be the answer. 1, 2, 5, then 3, that is culture, then finally social interaction. So 1, 2, 5, then 3, and then 4. This is the correct ordering. क्या ये अप्रिशिएट कर पा रहे हो कि ये लॉजिक सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है? सबसे पहले समझना इंपॉर्टेंट है कि द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विद Damru was an economic contract. Otherwise, you will be missing it, and you might order them differently in different order sequence because 3 is important. Dance and song losing its identity, that is also crucial, but that is not economic reason. तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो Damru के साथ टर्मिनेट करना है वो इकोनॉमिक रीजन की वजह से टर्मिनेट करना है, वो सोशल रीजन की वजह से, किसी कल्चरल रीजन की वजह से टर्मिनेट नहीं करना है. एंड हेंस अवर आंसर विल बी क्लियरली ऑप्शन ए. क्या ये अप्रिशिएट कर पा रहे हो? बिकॉज दिस वाज द क्रक्स ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. एंड इफ यू नॉट अंडरस्टूड दिस पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट तो फिर इसको डेफिनेटली मिस करोगे या फिर कंफ्यूज होगे कि इसमें क्यों हमारा आंसर ऑप्शन ए होगा, क्योंकि और ऑप्शन हमारा मैच नहीं करेगा. ओके, ठीक है, अगले सेट पे चलते हैं. नेक्स्ट सेट. नाउ दिस सेट इज अबाउट a family. Saradeep was the proprietor of Saradeep and Sons Private Limited, an auto parts manufacturing company. He had 3 children, Tapsi, Kesar, and Sandeep. His wife passed away when Sandeep, the youngest kid of the family, was only 8 years old. Tapsi, being the eldest sibling, was more of a mother to Kesar and Sandeep. So Saradeep is the parent who survived, and he has 3 children. The eldest is Tapsi, and then Kesar, and finally the youngest is Sandeep. Tapsi and Kesar joined Saradeep's business right after college because Saradeep trusted them immensely. He once told Kesar, "I want key positions to be held by the people I trust." So trust is an important factor for Saradeep. अच्छा, क्वेश्चंस को नहीं दिखाया ना, तो these are the 3 questions just in case if you've not solved this set. Okay, so Saradeep wanted Sandeep also to join his business like Kesar and Tapsi. Saradeep felt that Sandeep had a strong business sense. So this is his feeling that Sandeep has a strong business sense, probably the best among the 3 children. Hence, Saradeep wanted Sandeep to take his higher education in business studies. That is wishes of Saradeep. However, Sandeep has different plans. He has different aspirations, and he wanted to become a lawyer. Of late, he was offered admission to the prestigious National Law School, NLU, Bengaluru. As soon as he received the admission offer, he rushed to share this news with his family members. So this is the basic premise that there is a family. Saradeep is the parent of Tapsi, Kesar, and Sandeep, and Saradeep values trust most, and he wants key positions to be held by the people that he trusts. Now, first question: Sandeep shared the news of the admission offer first with Kesar, who exhibited mixed feelings. He was happy for Sandeep's admission to NLU. Nevertheless, he was concerned about the father's reaction. Moreover, Saradeep had, अब Saradeep Sandeep बड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाता है बीच बीच में, है कि नहीं? ये स्पेलिंग भी काइंड ऑफ सिमिलर है. तो संदीप यहाँ पे Saradeep had anxiety attack a few months back and was working from their family mansion in Shimla. Kesar advised Sandeep to delay sharing this selection news with their father. Kesar ने advise किया संदीप को to delay sharing the selection news with their father. Which of the following, if true, will best enable Sandeep share the news with Saradeep without delay? Best enable Sandeep share the news with Saradeep without any delay. तो कौन सा ऐसा रीजन होगा? ऑप्शन ए, Saradeep did not talk to Sandeep for weeks because he did not get the news of Sandeep's bike accident immediately from him. Option B, Saradeep regarded law as a respectable profession. Now, if Saradeep regards law as a respectable profession, does that mean that he'll be preferring Sandeep being a lawyer? He might still want Sandeep to be a business professional, to do as his graduation, his studies in business studies, isn't it so? So this is not a valid reason. Option B तो clearly eliminate हो जाता है. Option C, since childhood, Sandeep before going to bed usually shared all happenings of the day with Saradeep. Option D, Kesar had always been paranoid about his family ever since the untimely demise of his mother. So even if Kesar is paranoid about his family, that does not give Sandeep sufficient reason to share the news with Saradeep without delay. That is not giving sufficient reason. ठीक है, this is not sufficient. Despite this, not sufficient reason to share the news without delay. Option E, even after the anxiety attack, Saradeep walked 4 kilometers daily. So this is just saying that he is physically fit. Saradeep is physically fit. But still, this news may give him mental shock. So even if he is physically fit, mental shock, he might not be very well acquainted to handle. ठीक है, so that is why this should be rejected. He should be rejected. अब बचते हैं हमारे पास ऑप्शन ए एंड ऑप्शन सी. ऑप्शन सी इज सेइंग Since childhood, Sandeep, before going to bed, usually shared all happenings of the day with Saradeep. तो यानी कि हैबिट की बात कर रहा है कि हैबिट ये है कि चाइल्डहुड से संदीप बिफोर गोइंग टू बेड यूजुअली शेयर्ड ऑल द हैपनिंग्स ऑफ द डे विद Saradeep. And option A, Saradeep did not talk to Sandeep for weeks because he did not get the news of Sandeep's bike accident immediately from him. तो हैबिट, ऑप्शन सी हैबिट की बात कर रहा है, ऑप्शन ए बात कर रहा है कि Saradeep did not talk to Sandeep for weeks. Why? Because he did not get the news of Sandeep's bike accident immediately from him. Now very important, option A is saying immediately news nahi mila, and that is why Saradeep did not talk to Sandeep for weeks. So this is concerning because this is talking about कि if Sandeep is not going to share this news to Saradeep without any delay, if he's not sharing this news immediately, then again same thing might happen. He might punish him. He might not talk to Sandeep for weeks if this is not happening, if he's not sharing the news immediately. Isn't it so? So if he's not sharing the news immediately, he might have a trust issue, or he might rather have anxiety when the news is ultimately known to him, and that will be more problematic. Isn't it so? तो ऑप्शन ए हमें क्लियरली बता रहा है कि इमीडिएटली न्यूज शेयर करना इज इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज the news of bike accident, when that was not shared immediately, so Saradeep did not talk to Sandeep for weeks. And hence, A is better answer than option E. Option C, because since childhood, Sandeep bhale before going to bed usually shared all happenings, but this time things are different. And why they are different? Because Saradeep is facing anxiety attacks, so he may delay sharing it. But because of A, he should be sharing it immediately, because if he's not sharing it immediately, then again same thing might happen. Again, Saradeep might not talk to him for weeks. And then that will be problematic. And ultimately, when he gets to know, he may still have a emotional issue, emotional state, and can have an anxiety attack. So A is the better option. That is why A should be selected. So A is much greater than C. बाकी ऑप्शन तो पहले रिजेक्ट हो गए थे. Okay. Next one. Saradeep requested Kesar to decide on the head of a new manufacturing plant. The plant and its culture had to be molded in the same way as their other plants. Kesar wanted to identify a candidate acceptable to Saradeep. तो कौन सा कैंडिडेट होगा विच इज एक्सेप्टेबल टू Saradeep? Okay, and the issue is the plant and its culture had to be molded in the same way as the other plants. And candidate acceptable to Saradeep should be a candidate that can be trusted. Because हमें एक चीज का ही पता है कि trust is the major issue for Saradeep. Which of the following candidate is the best choice for the position? Tapsi, who headed another plant which was 2 hours away from the new plant, could be requested to take additional charge. Now, Tapsi is definitely a trustworthy employee, being the son of, being the daughter of Saradeep, isn't it so? But problem क्या है? She is heading another plant which is 2 hours away. So this will basically be overburdening her with an additional charge. And also, additionally, apart from overburdening her, this will also lead to lack of focus, because उसको 2 जगह फोकस करना पड़ेगा. So lack of focus will also be a reason. Option B, Sandeep, who had about 10 months left to join the NLU, National Law School. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है संदीप के साथ में कि संदीप को एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है एटलीस्ट, और टाइम भी नहीं है उसके पास में. पहली चीज तो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है. सेकेंडली, ही डज नॉट हैव टाइम बिकॉज ही हैज जस्ट 10 months left. Option C, Suhasini, an MBA graduate and Kesar's wife, who had been a homemaker for 15 years. So Suhasini is also a trusted person because she is an MBA graduate and she is Kesar's wife. So she is a trusted person for Saradeep, but the problem is that she had been a homemaker for 15 years. So she can be trusted, but she does not have experience. So that is the problem. Option D, Surendra, the deputy head of their largest plant, who had been with them for 30 years and would retire in 7 years. So Surendra is also a good option because he can be trusted. He had been with them for 30 years, 30 long years, and he has 7 years with him, retire in 7 years. So he is the deputy head of the largest plant. So he has the experience, know-how, experience है उसके पास में, know-how है, and he can be trusted as well. So all factors are going with Surendra, so he must be selected. Option E, Dhanush, the most technically qualified employee who joined the organization 3 years back straight from the college. So he has most technical qualification, but we know nothing else about him. So he does not have any experience of managing a plant, of heading a plant, isn't it? So that is why he is lacking experience. Technical experience है उसके पास है, but lacking experience of heading a plant or managing a plant. That is why he should not be selected. Trust के बारे में भी confirm नहीं कह सकते, but definitely D is the best option. Among A, B, C, D and E, D, Surendra is the best option. Okay. Now last question of this set. Kesar was also concerned about Tapsi's reaction to Sandeep joining the National Law School. She wanted to be a fashion designer. However, Saradeep dissuaded her from doing anything other than production engineering. She was very upset with her father's decision back then. Nevertheless, over time she understood and she became a staunch supporter of father's values and beliefs. Currently, she is heading one of the plants, which also happened to be the best run company plant. Kesar felt that she would not take Sandeep's decision well. She might try to prevent Sandeep from pursuing higher studies in law. That is the concern. That Kesar is apprehensive that Tapsi might try to prevent Sandeep from pursuing higher studies in law. तो विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इफ ट्रू विल बेस्ट एसुएज केसर्स फियर रिगार्डिंग तापसी? एसुएज यानी कि मिनिमाइज कर देगा फियर्स को, टेंशन खत्म हो जाएगा। कौन सा ऐसा रीजन होगा? ठीक है, तो केसर, तापसी एंड संदीप दे आर सिबलिंग्स। ओके, तो दे, सो कौन सा ऐसा रीजन होना चाहिए विच विल एसुएज केसर्स फियर रिगार्डिंग तापसी? दैट रीजन कैन बी देयर वेयर तापसी is seen in support of Sandeep. And more so because if Tapsi is going to support Sandeep, because Saradeep might not be wishing that. Isn't it so? Because Saradeep तो ये चाहता था संदीप से कि संदीप भी ज्वाइन करे उसके बिजनेस को, but Sandeep wants to be a lawyer. So we have to check which option does that. Which option connects Tapsi with Sandeep? Option A, Tapsi, in a marked departure from family tradition, was fully supported by her family when she decided to marry her batchmate soon after college. Okay. Option B, Tapsi mentored an online startup dedicated to women's fashion in her free time. तो this is just a side hustle. ऑप्शन बी में क्या साइड हसल है उसका अपना एक, ठीक है, बट ये कैसे कनेक्ट करता है तापसी और संदीप को? नहीं कनेक्ट करता, ठीक है। और साइड हसल कर रही है तापसी, तो उससे क्या, यहाँ पे बातें डिफरेंट है। संदीप को तो फुल टाइम करना है, लॉयर बनना है। ऑप्शन सी, तापसी इन अ फैशन स्कूल कन्वोकेशन स्पीच सेड दैट शी स्टिल हार्बर्ड अ ड्रीम ऑफ क्विटिंग द फैमिली बिजनेस फॉर बिकमिंग अ फैशन डिजाइनर, यानी कि शी इज स्टिल हार्बरिंग अ ड्रीम ऑफ बिकमिंग fashion designer and quitting the family business. Okay. Option D, Tapsi gifted Sandeep a sports bike on his 19th birthday even when Saradeep was completely against it. And option E, when Sandeep was 8, he supported Tapsi's desire to pursue fashion engineering. Now options थोड़े क्लोज हैं, अगर थोड़ा डिटेल में समझेंगे तो समझ में आएगा, बट ऑप्शंस क्लोज हैं। ऑप्शन ई कह रहा है संदीप was 8, he supported Tapsi's desire to pursue fashion engineering, यानी कि संदीप supported Tapsi when she needed the support. ठीक है, गेस्चर है, गुड गेस्चर फ्रॉम संदीप द किड, बिकॉज संदीप वॉज 8 देन, बट अभी तापसी तो 8 साल की नहीं है ना, ठीक है। तो क्या ये वैलिड रीजन होगा? राइट डायरेक्शन में तो है। ऑप्शन ए, तापसी इन अ मार्क्ड डिपार्चर फ्रॉम फैमिली ट्रेडिशन वॉज फुली सपोर्टेड बाय हर फैमिली व्हेन शी डिसाइडेड टू मैरी हर बैचमेट। नो, ये तो पर्सनल डिसीजन है, बट यहाँ पे बात हम कर रहे हैं एक प्रोफेशनल डिसीजन की, तो दिस इज नॉट राइट, बिकॉज से पर्सनल डिसीजन की बात कर रहे हैं, प्रोफेशनल डिसीजन की बात कर रहे हैं। और वैसे भी यहाँ पे हम फैमिली की बात कर रहे हैं इन जनरल, सिर्फ संदीप और तापसी के कनेक्शन की बात नहीं हो रही है इस ऑप्शन ए में। ऑप्शन बी पहले रिजेक्ट हो गया। ऑप्शन सी, तापसी इन फैशन, ठीक है, हार्बल। ऑप्शन डी, तापसी गिफ्टेड संदीप अ स्पोर्ट्स बाइक ऑन हिज 19th बर्थडे इवन व्हेन सारादीप वाज कंप्लीटली अगेंस्ट इट। नाउ दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज यहाँ पे क्या कह रहे हैं, तापसी ने गिफ्ट किया संदीप को अ स्पोर्ट्स बाइक, गिफ्टेड संदीप अ स्पोर्ट्स बाइक एंड शी गिफ्टेड हिम अ स्पोर्ट्स बाइक डिस्पाइट Saradeep being against it. Saradeep was against it, but still Tapsi gave Sandeep the sports bike. Isn't it so? So similarly, even if Saradeep is against the wishes of Sandeep and he wants him to join business, but Sandeep wants to do law, so Tapsi might be supporting Sandeep in that decision because she had already done so in the past. तो past में ऐसा हो चुका है, future में भी ऐसा हो सकता है, because this is definitely establishing a connection between Tapsi and Sandeep in the right direction, despite Saradeep being against it. Isn't it so? So D is the best option. Among the given options, D हमारा बेस्ट ऑप्शन है। क्या ये क्लियर है? ओके, सो नेक्स्ट सेट पे चलते हैं। Himaja was among the top 10 students of her business management batch. Now 3 questions of this set. Among the top 10 students of the business management batch, she got placed in a reputed strategy consulting firm during the college placements. She was delighted to work under Nirmal, the superior, who was known for grooming many stars in the organization. Nevertheless, he was also regarded as a hard taskmaster. Though she was a fresh recruit, she longed to be in a client-facing role. So she wanted to be a client-facing role, to have a client-facing role. During an informal office gathering, Himaja mustered up courage to ask Nirmal for a client-facing role. Which of the following reasons, if true, will best justify Nirmal saying no to Himaja? So we need a reason that best justifies Nirmal saying no to Himaja for that. Himaja's teammates are not happy with her communication skills. Himaja needs to improve her presentation skills. Himaja leaves early and client meetings go late into the night. Clients do not appreciate strategic discussions with fresh recruit, and clients do not take young women seriously during discussions. So which should be the best option for Nirmal to say no? Now Himaja's teammates are not happy with her communication skills. अभी तो पर्सनल बायस है, पर्सनल उनका एक परसेप्शन है अबाउट हिमजा कि हर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स आर नॉट प्रॉपर, देन दे आर नॉट वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट इट। ठीक है. Himaja needs to improve her presentation skills. Now presentation skills can be improved. If she needs to improve, they can be improved with time. If there is better reason, तो इसको तो फिर रिजेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ऑप्शन सी, Himaja leaves early and client meetings go late into night. Okay. Option D, clients do not appreciate strategic discussions with fresh recruits. Now ultimately she wants to do a client facing role. तो client का desire is important and clients do not appreciate strategic discussions with fresh recruits. They want experience. So this is a good reason. Last one, clients do not take young women seriously. Now this is a prejudiced and biased behavior. ठीक है, prejudice and biased behavior. So this should not be the proper reason for him to give. But D is the better option, that clients do not appreciate strategic discussion with the fresh recruits and hence Nirmal should be saying no to Himaja. So D should be the answer. So C, Himaja leaves early, that can also be improved. Not a very valid reason. The best reason among the given options is option D. Because B and C, presentation skill and other habits can be improved with time. So that is not the very justified reason. D is the best option. Next question. Due to her constant pleading, Nirmal assigned Himaja a client-facing role in his project. Nirmal instructed her that he would do all the talking during the meetings and she would diligently listen and take notes. So Nirmal would be doing all the talking and she would diligently listen and take notes. However, in the first meeting itself, Himaja made a comment which contradicted Nirmal. She made a comment contradicting Nirmal. In the next, she interrupted the client while he was making a point. This offended the client, resulting in Nirmal apologizing to the client to save the project. Now, she has done two mistakes in her first two meetings. Which of the following is the most appropriate action that Nirmal should take against Himaja's behavior? So what should be most appropriate? Now, since she is in the nascent stage, so she should be given chances. But the point is, she has made enough mistakes, so she should also be given reprimand. She should be doing it right. Otherwise, there may be repercussions, because there are already repercussions. Nirmal has apologized to the client because of her action. So option A, have a chat with Himaja later in the evening, explain the delicate situation she had put him in during the meeting and request her not to repeat it. Have a chat, explain the delicate situation and request her. Will this work? Now, having a chat is an informal meeting. ठीक है, तो having an informal meeting with Himaja, explain to her the delicate situation and request her. She needs more than that. So this is less than required. This will not be sufficient. Option B, caution Himaja that she would lose client-facing roles if she does not appreciate the rationale behind his instructions. Because he had given clear instructions, Nirmal had given clearly instructions to Himaja that she would only listen, diligently listen and take notes and not comment. Not comment mention नहीं है, but she should listen and take notes. So clearly she made a comment in the first meeting. She interrupted the client in the second meeting. So she is not listening to what Nirmal has been saying. So very important, he is cautioning Himaja that she would lose client-facing roles if she does not appreciate the rationale behind his instructions. Because yet she has to learn things first, and if she's not learning them and she's still making comments, so that is not right. So B is a better option than A, because A is doing less than required. A may having a chat, explaining the delicate situation and requesting her will not be sufficient, because she's not understanding the point. She's not diligently listening and taking notes. She's doing more than that, much more than that is required. So definitely she should be given she should be cautioned about it. Okay, so B is better than A for sure. Option C, ask Himaja's project teammates to have a chat with her on how to behave in client meetings. Now, asking Himaja's project teammates instead of Nirmal doing it herself is not right, because that way he is diluting his leadership. है कि नहीं? जो काम उसको खुद करना चाहिए, डायरेक्टली करना चाहिए, वो इंस्टेड हिमजा के प्रोजेक्ट टीममेट से कराएगा, तो C is wrong. D, recommend Himaja for a 5-day listening workshop. Now, listening skills workshop is not needed for Himaja. Why this is not needed? Because यहाँ पे issue क्या हो रहा है? Issue ये हो रहा है कि Nirmal has given her instructions and she is not following instructions. It is not that she cannot listen or she needs listening skills, but rather she is not listening. She is not understanding the rationale behind the instructions. So that is the problem. That is why D does not make any sense whatsoever. E, await the half-yearly performance review due in 2 months and submit a strong report against Himaja. Now, अभी ही काम करना है. He has to take action immediately and not wait for giving a strong report after 2 months, because 2 months में और भी मीटिंग्स होंगी, वहाँ और कहानी होगी, चीज़ें एस्केलेट होगी, प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट होगा. तो डेफिनेटली E is not the option. Best option is option B. take immediate action as and when needed and right action. ठीक है, because in case of E, he is also taking harsher action, maybe awaiting a performance review and then submitting a strong report against Himaja, while he can caution Himaja that she will lose client-facing roles, and that will maybe help her better. That will give her more chances to improve her behavior and be diligent about her actions. Okay, last question. Another month passed and Himaja was working under Shreya in a different team. So now she is working under Shreya. Shreya was impressed by Himaja's enthusiasm and sincerity. She was impressed by Himaja's enthusiasm and sincerity. She asked Himaja to accompany her to a meeting with a new client. During the meeting, Himaja made a statement that offended the client. Again, Himaja repeated the same mistake, offended the client. Shreya tried to defuse the situation by asking Himaja to apologize. Himaja apologized, but she still defended her statement. This infuriated the client further, who categorically told Shreya that the statement of Himaja was against the organization's core values. He specifically told Shreya that unless concrete steps were taken against Himaja, he would not get into any business with the firm. Now, this is a very strict statement that he told Shreya that unless concrete steps are taken against Himaja, he would not get into any business with the firm. Which of the following is the most appropriate action that Shreya should take in the interest of all parties? Most appropriate that Shreya should take in interest of all parties. सारी parties का interest concern address होना चाहिए. तो कौन कौन से parties है हमारे पास? Party is a client. Client is a party. Shreya is a party. Himaja is a party. Isn't it so? Obviously, company तो party है ही है. तो option A should castigate Himaja using strong words in front of the client and later in the evening share how much Shreya loved Himaja's commit. So should castigate Himaja in front of client. That is very demoralizing. And then after that, in the evening, share how much Shreya loved Himaja's comment. And is this fair to all the parties? Definitely not, क्योंकि यहाँ पे अल्टीमेटली क्या हो रहा है, हिमजा को और बढ़ावा मिल रहा है. ठीक है, तो हिमजा will be doing more wrong in the future because of that. So definitely this is incorrect. This is not the right step. Should advise Himaja to look for a role outside the consulting industry since her competencies are not appreciated by the clients. So Shreya is impressed by Himaja's enthusiasm and sincerity. Now this is extreme step, harsh step, that she says to Himaja that look for a role outside the consulting industry just because of this activity, since her competencies are not appreciated by the clients. And this is just because of one client. Option C should defend Himaja, knowing fully well that most probably Shreya will lose the client. Now this is not in the interest of the company, not in the interest of Shreya, not also in the interest of the client. So definitely wrong. Defending Himaja for that, knowing fully well that most probably Shreya will lose the client, this is not right. Rejected. Option D should assure the client that Himaja will be transferred but send Himaja for a 2-week vacation to rejuvenate instead. तो यहाँ पे क्या किया, assure किया client को that Himaja will be transferred but instead she sent Himaja for a 2-week vacation to rejuvenate instead. So she is lying to the client that yes, Himaja will be transferred but instead sent Himaja for a 2-week vacation. So not addressing the concern. Isn't it so? That she has not been transferred, after 2 weeks she will again be back. So that is a complete lie. Not right. So rejected. Option E should move Himaja to a non-client facing role in the current project and explore client facing roles in other projects. Now this is a good option. Why this is a good option? Because Shreya is impressed by Himaja's enthusiasm and sincerity, and she knows that Himaja is a good asset. So even if client facing role is a problem, at least with this client, so definitely she can move Himaja to a non-client facing role. Same project में ही रहेगी, transfer नहीं किया, but in the non-client facing role. That way Himaja's expertise, his potential can be harnessed, can be used, and then Himaja can anyway explore the client facing roles in other projects. So this is a win-win for all the parties. ठीक है, Shreya in this case is taking a concrete step against Himaja as per insistence of client. So she is transferring her to, moving her to non-client facing role in this project. So that is done. तो client की बात ही मान गई, ठीक है, और साथ में beneficial हो Himaja as well, कि Himaja is in the project but not in a client facing role, and she can anyway explore opportunities in the other projects, client facing roles in other projects. So option E is the best option and beneficial in the interest of all the parties concerned. Okay, clear है? क्या appreciate कर पा रहे हो? अगले सेट पे चलते हैं. So probably this is the last set. So this is the basic premise, and then there are 3 questions. Okay, let us read the premise first. occasion was a hyper publicized switch on ceremony of solar power facilities on an island with many villages in the Bay of Bengal. PK was the brand ambassador of a multinational company that was banking heavily on the CSR initiative to strengthen its presence in India. For the millions of fans enamored by the aging superstars Robinhood like on-screen exploits, the pre-event speech of PK was their first glimpse into his off-screen persona. So millions of fans enamored by the aging superstars Robinhood like on-screen exploits, the pre-event speech of the PK was their first glimpse into his off-screen persona. After an emotional speech that extolled the virtues of electricity as a driver of well-being and need for inclusive growth, PK with a flourish of his hand hit the button to remotely switch on solar power facilities. Tens of media cameras stationed in all the island villages started beaming live feed across the world. Quickly, the event turned from one of joy to something of shock and horror, as all the thatched households on the island caught fire. A few villagers were seriously injured in the fire. Watching the coverage, PK slapped the MNC representative standing next to him on live camera and collapsed on a couch with his head in his hands. So PK ने क्या किया? PK slapped the MNC representative. So he basically, this is emotional outburst because of that, and on the live camera and collapsed on a couch with his head in his hands. So question 1, soon after, the MNC filed a case against PK for criminal assault and tarnishing its brand image. Which of the following is the most appropriate reason for the MNC to file a case against PK? Which will be most appropriate reason for the MNC to file a case? It is a message to MNC's stakeholders that it will not tolerate such inappropriate behavior. Seems fine. The MNC's mission statement includes employees first, customer second. तो क्या ये sufficient reason हो सकता है, most appropriate reason हो सकता है कि mission statement includes employees first and customer second, and hence they filed a case against PK for criminal assault. So mission statements are aspirational. ठीक है, they are not final, and based on them the action is not taken. ठीक है, सिर्फ मिशन स्टेटमेंट के बेसिस पे एक्शन ले लिया होगा, दैट इज नॉट जस्टिफाइड, नॉट मोस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट. ऑप्शन सी, MNC is forced to respond given the public slapping of its representative. Forced to respond, तो ये यहाँ पे somehow this is again not most appropriate because this is showing that मजबूर थे, MNC मजबूर थी, तो they are weak, they are being shown as weak in this reason, so this is also not most appropriate for MNC to file a case. The MNC intends to arrest its doping sales post the incident through affirmative action. तो is this affirmative action? Affirmative action तो ये होता है कि the villages that have been harmed due to this, the villages that have been harmed, वहाँ पे कुछ action करते, कुछ positive action करते. This is not affirmative action, and this might also not arrest the dropping sales because dropping sales क्यों हो रहा है? Because of the news, and you are still giving the limelight to this news otherwise also, isn't it so? So this will not help in dropping sales, and this is also not affirmative action, so this is rejected. Option E, the highly brand conscious MNC is using PK to divert public attention. तो is this using PK to divert public attention, या इसकी वजह से और attention आ रहा है, तो this is attention grabbing, so this is doing just the opposite. This is also rejected, and hence option A is the best option, that message to the MNC's stakeholders that it will not tolerate such inappropriate behavior. This is the best option. Option A should be selected because other options are completely wrong. Okay. ठीक है. Next question. Post the slapping incident, there was a strong social media backlash against PK. His PR team suggested the following social media releases that he could use not only to defend himself but also to garner positive reactions. So he need the response that can defend him but also garner positive reactions. Which of the following social media releases will best help PK achieve the purpose? Which will best help PK in this case? Option A, he strongly believes in an eye for an eye. Now यही तो प्रॉब्लम है, वहाँ पे इमोशनल रिस्पॉन्स दिया, इमोशनल आउटबर्स्ट हुआ, उसकी वजह से प्रॉब्लम हुआ. तो ही स्ट्रांगली बिलीव्स इन आई फॉर एन आई, दिस विल गिव बैकलैश, दिस विल बैकफायर, दिस विल नॉट हेल्प. ऑप्शन बी, ही इज ऑन स्क्रीन Robinhood image influences off screen behavior. The MNC deserved more than just a slap for its irresponsible actions. Option E, the plight of the islanders deserved an immediate delivery of justice. And option E, he reacted as the sight of the villagers ablaze was unbearable. His on-screen Robinhood image influenced his off-screen behavior. Does not make sense. This will not go in his favor because उसको क्या करना है, अपने आप को डिफेंड करना है और फिर साथ में पॉजिटिव रिएक्शन भी चाहिए. तो इज इट डिफेंडिंग हिम? because his on-screen Robinhood image influenced his off-screen behavior. Not defending him because he is slapping a MNC representative. He is not doing any helpful thing. है कि नहीं? या तो उसने हेल्प किया होता, एक्चुअल में उसको क्या करना चाहिए था? इन दैट केस वहां पे ही माइट हैव रश्ड टू हेल्प द विलेजर्स हु आर बीइंग हार्म्ड, इजंट इट सो? जिनको नुकसान हुआ, तो वहां पे वो हेल्प करने के लिए पहुंचता तो वो तो समझ में आता. Anyway, this is not the right option. MNC deserved more than just a slap for its irresponsible actions. So that is fine. But is this defending him? No. This is not defending him. And this will not garner positive reactions. तो इसके reactions भी जो क्या आएंगे? Negative आएंगे, positive नहीं आएंगे. Option D, plight of the islanders deserved an immediate delivery of justice. So is he the judge for that? And what he did, was it a justice move? Was it a move for justice? No, that was not. So E is the best option. He reacted as the sight of the villagers ablaze was unbearable. So since the sight was unbearable, so he reacted. This was a reaction, emotional reaction. This is giving a defense or justification. That what he did was just a emotional reaction to what he saw, to the sight of the villagers ablaze, and that was unbearable, and hence he reacted. So that was outburst, that was wrong, but that is how he did. So E is the best option. So he's accepting that he was guilty, he was at mistake, but he reacted because of the sight of the villagers ablaze. Okay, so this is the best among the given options, best defense. And that will not be seen negatively either. A few months passed and the slapping incident still garnered a good number of views on social media. PK's publicist was aware that PK harbored a desire to join politics. She wanted PK to make the most of the publicity around the incident before it faded away from public memory in the next few months. So which of the following options will best help PK take just advantage of the situation? So PK has to take advantage of this situation because he harbors a desire to join politics. So which one will be helping him most? Option A, he should announce that he is entering politics with a slogan, one tight slap. Option B, he should launch the slap the greedy campaign and urge his fans to slap greedy officials. Now B तो completely negative हो गया कि you are justifying violence, isn't it so? सबसे पहले तो तुमने जो वायलेंस किया वही गलत था और फिर उसके बाद यू आर रेदर लॉन्चिंग अ कैंपेन फॉर दैट, एब्सोल्युटली नेगेटिव. तो पहला भी गलत है, ए भी गलत है, बिकॉज ही इज एंटरिंग पॉलिटिक्स विद द स्लोगन वन टाइट स्लैप. तो दिस इज हार्बरिंग वायलेंस, दिस इज justifying violence. But option B, further you are asking your fans as well to slap greedy officials, that is also wrong. In his upcoming movie, in the opening scene, he should slap and shame a treacherous corporate official who swindles poor villagers. Option D, he should meet the MNC representative he slapped and apologize to him in a public meeting. And option E, he should visit the island and publicly promise to rebuild the island villages and publicize it in the social media. Which should be the best option? Best option is option E. Option C, upcoming movie में in the opening scene he should slap and shame a treacherous corporate official. He can do that, film will be hit. ठीक है, फिल्म हिट हो जाएगा. बट क्या है, पॉलिटिक्स के लिए अच्छा है? ठीक है, नॉट फॉर पॉलिटिक्स. तो ऑप्शन सी इज रॉन्ग. Option D, he should meet the MNC representative he slapped and apologize to him in a public meeting. Now, in a way, he can do that, but will this help him in politics? Not much. Because ultimately, to join the politics, what he has to do, he has to approach the public with a savior image, with a Robinhood image, जो उसकी इमेज है फिल्मों से, isn't it so? तो वैसा कुछ इमेज बनाए. तो ऑप्शन ई क्या कह रहा है? He should visit the island, publicly promise to rebuild the island villages and publicize it social media. So this is supporting his Robinhood image, that is his on-screen image, and doing it off-screen as well. So this will be the best option. Option E should be selected, should be the best answer. It will best help PK to take advantage of the situation, isn't it so? Because he is doing what he should be doing in the first place, and this will definitely help him in joining politics as well. Is that clear? So these were all the sets from XAT 21. I believe जो भी चीज़ हमने डिस्कस की सारी की सारी बातें समझ में आई होंगी. And if you really like this session, then make sure to give your feedback in the comment section as well. और साथ में सेशन को अगर अब तक लाइक नहीं किया तो जरूर से लाइक कर देना and give your comments. ठीक है, चलो इतना ही रखते हैं सेशन में. बाय, टेक केयर, एंड ऑल्सो जॉइन टेलीग्राम चैनल Mathological or can message me on Telegram at ATITYKT if you have any questions or concerns, and if you have not already subscribed to the channel तो साथ में सब्सक्राइब कर लेना, साथ में बेल आइकन भी प्रेस कर देना. दैट इज ऑल फॉर दिस सेशन. बाय, टेक केयर, कीप लर्निंग, एंड बेस्ट लक फॉर योर एग्जाम्स इफ योर एग्जाम्स आर right away. ठीक है, चलो बाय, टेक केयर. इफ यू आर वाचिंग इट just before 2 days तो फिर तो बढ़िया है. ओके, टेक केयर.